So I just changed a fresh diaper. The dog just went to the bathroom outside, and my man Amir Garrett, we got you here today, and you probably just did the same thing.
Yeah, I got the grill going. I got the dog running around. My daughter's over there screaming. Just fed her. It's going crazy. My wife just got done cleaning, so it's a madhouse right now, but it's awesome.
No, it's so cool. And it's nuts because obviously we've been DMing each other back and forth and just seeing a lot of your posts on Instagram and everything. And I'm like, man, we're like living such parallel lives. And then next thing I know, one Friday afternoon, we're both in the same Twitter space for Meta Athletes, just with Coach B, Coach Patel, who I know very closely. And I'm just like, dude, either Amir's a Stucko or I'm a Garrett. But like we got to be brothers or family or something at this point.
Yeah, man, it's crazy how our paths cross. It's like you said, it's a lot of the same stuff. With our babies and stuff like that, different professions, but probably the same goal. Ultimately, but it's good to get around good people. We're, like you said, we're in the same space with Meta Athletes. A lot of those guys are just awesome people. So you know what I mean? It's just being around good people. That's what I like to be, and I like to do. Just be around good people. That's it.
Dude, same. Cheers to that, man. And yeah, all right. So you're one of 10 and I'm one of 4. So would it be easier for me to show up to your family parties with the bottle and seamlessly get in there, or do you want to come into mine? Which one?
Man, we can do whatever, bro.
I'm showing up, man. I'll help man the grill.
Hey, listen, if you come to the family barbecue at my house, man, they're gonna treat you like they own, and it really be fun. And get some shit from my uncles, from my brother, my grandma. You know what I mean? It's all love, man. It's and then I'll show up to yours, man. I bring a bottle and do whatever. We just party it up.
Dude, sign the kid up. Let's go, baby. What are we drinking? I'll probably bring not gonna lie, dude. I'm definitely a White Claw kind of guy, but I know.
Hey, we're alike.
I feel like I get a lot of shit, man, for drinking those and seltzers, but dude, I love them.
I love White Claws. All right, I love White Claws. I love Trulies more.
Oh, damn, Truly.
Yeah, now I'm getting on my wine thing. I haven't been drinking like that too much. Like I slowed down a little bit because I took the little, what's it called, the sensitivity test and stuff like that. So you figure out. So I found out I was like allergic to tequila. And, that was I used to love tequila, but, that would mess up my stomach. So I stopped drinking that. But the claws were pretty good. But I've been on my wine tip a little bit lately. My wife likes to drink wine. So I've been on that a little wine every other day or something like that, a glass of wine or two. So,
Yo, so I went with the seltzers because I have the allergy to the soy and the gluten. So that's why I stuck with them. So as much shit as you get from your boys for drinking White Claws or whatever, there's a pretty good reason behind it, I feel.
My stomach ain't hurting the next morning. I'm like, all right, I'm good to go, man. Like, and it's a funny story because I started drinking White Claws during the pandemic in 2020. And I'm like, man, I'm gonna be sitting around like, I'm working out, but we're just gonna be having time on our hands. And I start drinking White Claws. I'm like, what? Like I lost like 4 pounds, which was really funny. I'm like, dang, like. I was like, drinking these White Claws got me. I said, I feel good. Like, man, like this is my new drink. And then it just went to the Trulies. But I'm a White Claw guy, man. Every somebody's always making fun of you, but it's White Claws are really good.
Yeah, I'm happy that you said the 4 pound thing because I swear to God, I tell this to everybody. I tell it to Beck. I'm like, I think the best shape of my life that I was ever in was probably during the pandemic and just like going on the bike a lot, like doing workouts at home and like just having like the seltzers, but it's almost like because you're drinking that or you're say eating whatever it is, like it kind of motivates you to work out a little bit more harder the next day because you know that you already had some the night before. And dude, like if I had some right now, I told you I'd be cheersing you because there's a lot to celebrate. And I think one of those things was definitely when you became a dad in 2021, man. Congratulations.
Man, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, for sure. I was on the 1942 then when my daughter was born, a couple friends. It's just an awesome feeling, bro. Like, like becoming a dad, like it puts so much perspective, like just about life. You know what I mean? Like my daughter, like I can literally have a bad day or go through anything. Like I see her and it's like, wow, like nothing else matters. Like, she doesn't care about my baseball career. You know what I mean? Like if I do bad, guess who's going to be there at the end of the day when I get home smiling? My daughter is, you know what I mean? And that's what, just put a lot of stuff in perspective for me. My daughter is just like, like The Rock said, he said, everybody wants a son, but every man wants a son, but they need a daughter. You know what I mean? And it's like I don't even know. Like I can't describe the feeling. Like it's just she helps me every single day. It's always something new. Um, and I'm just blessed. I thank God that He allowed me to be her father. I tear up every time I talk about it.
Yeah, no, man, I love it, and I've just been smiling this entire time. Just like you said, you could have the worst day possible, and you just come home and like she doesn't know or he doesn't know
Yep.
what happened to you that day or whatever. You're just gonna smile no matter what, and they don't take account into anything else. It's just like it's so feel good, man. And I was laughing too because I know that your wife had posted not all that long ago. She said hashtag count on AG to always wake me up because I guess sometimes you like to listen to your phone with the volume on loud, and
Oh,
sometimes you'll freak her out and
oh,
wake her up. But
yeah.
has that changed to count on KG to wake me up? Is it how she's sleeping?
She sleeps good, man. It's crazy because like when she was first born, when the first day we came from the hospital, like she's over there crying, crying. She wasn't crying like that in the hospital. I was like, babe, there's something wrong. Like, man, why is she crying like this? She wasn't crying like this in the hospital. And just a new environment, stuff like that. And then we're putting her like in between us in the little docket top to sleep in the bed. And she's just crying and crying. And I'm like, babe, I gotta get some sleep. Like I gotta fly to Chicago. You know what I mean? Like I gotta play today. Like I was like, I just need like an hour of sleep, 2 hours of sleep. And we were trying to do the whole not give her a pacifier thing, right? And babe, I'm like, get that thing, like put that thing in her mouth, like give her the pacifier, please, give it to her, give it to her. We put it in her mouth and just like instantly just I was like, oh my goodness, like this is the best thing ever. But after that, like my wife does a really good job with her. Ever since she was a baby, I mean, she's still a baby, but ever since she was a newborn, it's like she sleep 9, 10 hours a night. And I'm like, damn, like that's sick. And then, she came to Cincinnati, she's sleeping the same, and we're traveling to Chicago, she's sleeping the same, Pittsburgh, she's sleeping the same. And then we get home, it's like she was still doing it, sleeping a lot. And then like we decided to go to Hawaii like January just to get away. And I think that's when sleep regression like hit us like just like that. She was up taking a nap. She was up like 20 minutes. Like, hey dad, like you want to party? And then it was like put her down to sleep. She's up in 5 minutes. And I'm like, oh my goodness. I was like, what is that into my baby? And then we put her down to sleep. And it's like she's up within an hour and a half. You know what I mean? But she'd just be chilling in her crib. And I was going there like, baby, we gotta go to sleep. Like, I remember she wasn't going for it. But now I don't know, it just comes in waves because now like she take 3 naps a day, and sometimes she may nap like for an hour and a half, 2 hours, or 35 minutes. But in the nighttime, I feel like as of late, like a month or two, she's like been like maybe just she'll wake up one time, we'll put her to bed at 8. She'll wake up at like 1, we'll change her diaper, maybe feed her, maybe not, like rock her, soothe her, or whatever. It just depends on what she wants. And then from 1, she'll go to sleep till 6.
Dude, I feel like we got lucky, man, because we probably both have friends who like we see them and we're just like, dude, you look exhausted, like you look like shit, and it's because like a lot of times like the babies don't sleep throughout the night, and that has an effect, and then also too even just like planning your schedule throughout the entire day. Like if you know that you have an hour to work out, you can't just be in a mood to work out and like work out whenever you want. Now it's like you have to work out in that hour when the baby's sleeping, or you have to like plan everything else, man. Like even say like if you have to go to the bathroom, like you gotta be like, yo, to your girl, be like 12:15, I'm taking a piss. Like 1 o'clock, I'm taking a shit. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
down to like everything has to be scheduled now.
it is. It does, man. But that's the great thing. You have a good spouse with you. My wife does a really good job. And uh, it's crazy because like having a baby, like I said, put things perspective. Like we realize how much like how strong our women are. And it's just like a woman is just the backbone for a family. That's just it is what it is. And I really believe that because my wife is doing stuff like throughout the whole day. Like we're packing for a trip. She's packing for the baby first, then me, then her. And it's like I'm trying to pack for myself. I'm trying to help her out with the baby, and she's like, "No, babe, like this is this." And I'm like, "Oh, I forgot something." She's like, "Don't worry, I have it." Like, you know what I mean? And it's
Dude,
like
yeah.
planning thing is just crazy because now like I go to work out in the mornings, and it's like, all right, I got to go, at 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'll write the boys like, hey, this time I got to go. If we can't work, all right, well, I'll figure it out. But you gotta plan it. Like nothing is on your time. Nothing is on your own time now, and I'm okay with that. But it helped me like in my life get a little bit more structure
Dude,
because
yes.
my wife was always a plan first type of person, right? And I'm a baseball player, so it's like you go with the flow with things. Like coming up in the minor leagues, you get promoted, you go down, like do whatever, like you know what I mean. It's like it's on the go. It's like I'm not planning anything, and it's like now it's helped me a little bit more. It's like all right, guys, well, if I want to have a guys night, hang out with the boys, like we got to do it, this time or whatever. The baby got to sleep at 8. Let's do it, plan it a little bit earlier, whatever. We have dinner with family. Like, hey, let's have an early dinner at 4 o'clock so the baby go to sleep. And it's
Yeah.
actually pretty sick. It's actually pretty cool, man, because I enjoy that. I enjoy planning, for stuff.
Doesn't it make you wonder what you were doing with your life before, baby?
Yeah, I was just
It's just like you've always been super productive and great at like what you do and spending time with friends and family, stuff like that. But like it really makes you wonder like
yeah,
what you were doing with all your time, like and how much of it was like quote unquote wasted or how much of it was like productive or whatever. But yeah, God. Yeah.
I know it was just definitely this is a different feeling, and I'm definitely a different person. It's amazing. Fatherhood is amazing. I'm telling you, it's amazing. As you know, it's awesome, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, and I definitely want to like reiterate what you were saying about the girls too. It's just like they literally do so much. Like I don't know about you, but I've never pureed or
Oh,
really cooked the baby like food. Like I'll feed him and stuff like that. But like there's certain things that they do that like you're just like wow, like that's pretty nuts. I mean, hopefully by the time this releases, I'll have cooked a little bit more food for the baby. But like to your point though, it's nuts. Like they do so many things throughout the day.
yeah, like that's what we do too. My wife puree stuff. She'll get off work, puree, and I'm like anything I can do to help. She's like, no, I got it. Like, don't worry about it. Like, I'll try. And it's like clumpy stuff. And I'm like, dang, like I'm freaking out. Like like she'll just like do stuff like bananas, avocados and stuff. And we try to like cook her food. Like we don't get anything like in the jars or whatever. And we try to do it. And I'm like, babe, just put the banana in the cup thing that we have for her, and then I'll just smash it up like really, really well. Like that's my really, really well.
Same.
Put a little bit of formula in there and get that thing like mushy. You know what I mean? And she's like, you can't. Like I have to puree every single thing, and it's like the consistency of it. It has to be like this, and I'm like, what? Like I look at the baby like, you just want this banana? You just want this banana, baby? Or what? Like you know what I'm saying? Dad got it, but yeah, he definitely hooks it up. I definitely don't know how to puree yet, but I'm learning though.
Yeah, well, hey, the both of you guys also had some great training with the life with a baby because you guys are a big dog family. Like you guys love dogs, and right now you have one, an awesome pit bull who you rescued, and you've been like pretty vocal about the breed in general, just pit bulls, because they're just so misunderstood. But dude, what better animal or pet to kind of like start that transition into fatherhood than a dog?
Yeah, we have one dog now. His name is Dash. We had two.
That's right.
Dozer was my first
Rest in
one.
peace, man. When I saw your post, dude, like I was like a little teary eyed. You know what I mean? Like not trying to like be like get all emotional or whatever, but I felt it. And then I see all these photos and videos, and even the one going back to when he was on the dodo, like just such an awesome dog, man. And like it says so much about your guys' character adopting a dog and just the way that you loved for him and obviously both dogs. Yeah, I love it, and I love that you've been like advocating for this.
Yeah, it was definitely I got lucky with Dozer because he was a little bit older when we rescued him. He was like I think he was like 6 or 7 or maybe even 8 when we rescued him, and it was like I didn't know what to expect. I wasn't really much of a dog person. I never had a dog like that, and I never was really a dog person. But my wife was like, "Let's rescue a dog." Like, and she's like, "Let's rescue a pit bull." And I'm like, "A pit bull? Like, you want to rescue a pit bull? Like, and all the dogs, you want to rescue a pit bull? Like, it's the funniest thing. It's like we went to the dog rescue, and like it was Dozer, and he was there, and he was like bad, like pepper sprayed, and like he was bad shape, bad condition, like bloody, like hands bloody and stuff like that, just bad, right? And my wife was like, "Oh my gosh, I want him." He put his paw on the glass, and I'm like looking like, babe, like he's all dirty. I don't really want him. Like nah, you know what I mean? Like, can we do something else? Can we get this puppy over here? Like, she's like, no, I want him. And I'm like, dang. All right. So we take him out and like all the other dogs are barking at him and he's just like looking at my wife and like looking at me, wagging his tail, like just like, bro, come on, man. I looked, he's like, I know I don't look the part right now, but I fit the part. Like, I want to be family. That's how I felt. And I look and she's like, can we get him? And she's like crying. She's like, please, can we get him? And I'm like, damn. I'm like, all right, let's get this dog. Let's get him. And we rescued him. And like we didn't have literally like besides like, you know, obviously he had allergies and stuff like that, and he was in bad shape and like hip dysplasia. Like he had a whole bunch of problems with him, but like, you know, his temperament was really good, like I said. And like he wanted to be left alone a lot. Like he just was to himself, like, you know, just walking around the house. Like he would come and check on you and be, all right, cool. And he wasn't very affectionate at first. Like you would try to like hug him or pet him and kiss on him, and he would just get up and like walk away and like, all right, bro, like this, I'm good. Like I want to be by myself for a little bit. Like, you know what I mean? And I was just like, man, what kind of dog is this? Like, you know, pee in the house, like he don't do nothing. Like, bro, all you gotta do is feed him, let him out of the bathroom, and that's it. And then so I'm like, where's the energy in you, dude? Like, what's up? But I knew when I rescued him, it was like he'd been through a whole bunch of stuff in his life. I could tell. Like, and it's just like now he has the time to rest. He has a good family, and it's just like he just wants to rest. And for like 3 months, that's how it was. And then he started getting personality, like being around people, like, you know, and you know what they say, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And my wife like taught him a lot of stuff, how to wave, how to talk, and like, you know, and it's just like, wow, like this dude is so old. How does he learn this stuff? And then he just got comfortable and just, you know, start just getting his own personality. And it was just awesome to see that. You know, we'd take him around other dogs, and he's just like, all right. He never he liked other dogs, but he never really liked to play with other dogs because he didn't have a lot of energy. So he would just like be around trying to run with the young pups and stuff like that, but would never work. He'd be tired, just lay there. He would go around people. He would like humans more. Like people would pet him. He would just chill. And then once we got Dash, it was two completely different worlds. I go from this dog that's just chilling to now we have Tasmanian devil like running around the house being crazy. Like this dog was crazy. And you know, once it was kind of tough because we couldn't bring Dash to the shelter to meet him first. So we just went out on a limb. It was like, all right, well, they both look like they're gonna be cool with each other. So we brought him in one day and he's just like, you know, just try to just run over to Dozer, and Dozer looks at him and they're just like licking each other. And it's just like, all right, I guess it's a good fit. Like, let's see how it goes. And it's like ever since that day, you know, like just being an advocate for pit bulls was like that was my priority, man. Like I just love these dogs. Like and then you know, of course, Dozer got sick this year and he had cancer. So it was very hard for me because when I left, it was like it just took him over quick. Like within a month, he got really sick, and then he was trying to hold on because my daughter, like I said, she was born in July 22nd, and I think we put him down in June, at the end of June, but he was trying to hold on as much as he could, man. And you can tell, but it was just like, man, I couldn't let him suffer anymore. Like I couldn't let him do it. We were trying to do every single thing, like doctor's appointments, like every single thing we can do. And they're like, is he still eating normally? It was like, yeah, he's eating normally. And they were like, he's just losing weight. I was like, yeah, he's just, you know, he eats, goes to the bathroom. Like he still has energy, but he's just losing weight. Like, and he just looks like he's being starved, but this dude crushes food. Like, you know what I mean? They're like, yeah, like it's taking him over and stuff like that. And we put him down, and you know, it was hard for Dash because he was like for a couple of weeks, like he was just like mopey, sad, you could tell. And then you know, when my daughter was born, it like hit him at everything hit him at once. Like the baby's born now, the attention's off of him. His brother just passed away, and you know, but he's a trooper, man. Dash is my boy. He's with me, you know, everywhere, no matter where he is. And then, like you said, the dogs with the baby. Like Dash was a little bit skeptical about her at first. He was like you taking up all my shine, baby girl. Like, you know what I mean? Looking at her, like,
Yeah.
like, yeah, and we're like have the baby when like come to smell her, and he would like smell her and then walk away, go sit down. Like, all right, guys, like, can I get my shine? And now though, you know, I think it's because the baby started eating in the high chair, she'll just toss him something real quick, and he just loves her. Like he'll lay in her room. You know, he loves this little carpet she got in the room. He just like rolls around on it all day. You know, and the baby loves him too. Like she's infatuated with him. She'll just stare at him, and she'll just stare at him and then, like give him some food. And now it's just like I couldn't think of a better dog to be around my baby girl. You know, so it's awesome.
1,000%. So you got to experience such an amazing dog, your best friend.
Yeah.
Uh, again, a pit bull, which is so misunderstood. Such an amazing dog, and then you have Dash who came into the picture. And it's funny that you said that came in and was just like a Tasmanian devil, because I literally probably about an hour ago said to Becca, I was like, dude, if Piper was a dude, we probably would have named her Taz, because she literally just spins around like a
Yeah.
Tasmanian devil. So it's so funny that you said that. And I'm saying that as he's like next to Miles. So like we're talking now about a dog and a great breed who's like amazing with babies. Like literally the best with babies, the best family dog. You cannot go wrong with a pit bull. And there's so many times too that I live right near Greenwich, Connecticut. It's a very like high profile area. Definitely a different background from the both of us, upbringing and whatnot. But like I'll walk around with Piper because she's American Staffordshire Terrier, the fancy name for Pitbull. Dude, so when we adopted her, she had been at Garden Rescues where we adopted her for longer than the other dogs. And that's when I found out that not just a pit bull, but also dogs that are black, they're less likely to get adopted. So a black dog, a pit bull, and I see it and like I'll experience it when I'm walking around Greenwich. Like you have all the what do you call them, like toy dogs or whatever, like the
Yeah.
dudes who just bark nonstop, all this other stuff, and so many times there's like owners that are kind of like looking at you or looking at your dog, or you kind of tell when they shy away a little bit. You could just tell that people are just being like stereotypical or whatever, and it's just like, dude, these are the best dogs ever, and my dog's only gonna bark at your dog if your dog barks
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
They're the best dogs. They're literally the best.
I got a little story for you. I was in spring training about 2 years ago in 2019, I believe. And you know, spring training, we got an apartment or whatever, and um, you know, I was roommates with Jesse Winker, and it's my boy, and he never met the dogs yet, or he never met Dash yet. And I bring them both to the apartment or whatever. And you know, everybody loves my dogs. Everybody, you know, my dogs are really well trained. Like, you know, like they're really good dogs. So I'm at the apartment at one time at night, and it's like 9 o'clock at night. And I'm taking to the bathroom. There's this like lady has her dog off the leash, and it's like this is my I have a pet peeve about this sometimes. Like no matter what, I think you should have your dog on the leash at all times. Like just be for respect, because you never know. Like dogs like people, they may have a good day, they may not. You know, they probably don't want to play today. Like somebody may run up on your dog, whatever. You know what I mean? And her dog was off the leash, and her dog came running up to my dogs, and she's like, "Oh my gosh!" And I'm like, "Oh no, they're cool. Like you're good." Like a little dog, and it's like she's like, "Oh my gosh!" And I'm like, "Oh, they're good." And you know, and they're like, Dozer, this is his signature thing. When little dogs come up to him, he'll do that. I have a video, I have to show it to you. He'll just be like, yeah, that's what he'll do. And she's like, "Oh my gosh," and she's freaking out. And I'm like, "You're good." Like, but your dog was on a leash, but it's okay. But you know, my dogs are fine. And there was a guy.
Dude, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but even that too, right? It's always like it's you who did something, not
Yeah.
their dog. And it's
Oh,
you're the one that's like being like, "Oh, it's all right. I'm sorry."
yeah.
But it's just like we don't have to say that, but you just feel the need to because of everything.
Yeah.
Continue. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off, but
No,
like,
you're
yeah.
good.
Yeah, yeah.
So a guy
Keep going, keep going.
that was working there, like I walked by him, and my wife was like, "He's recording you." And I was like, "No, no, he's not. He's sorry." And I see him like recording me, and I'm going back to my house, and I'm like, you know, he was like, that's weird. Like I tell her, I was like, that's weird. And I'm like, I'm gonna go back and say something to him. And, you know, my wife is ready, like, you know, to pop off from some people sometimes. Like I go there, I was like, "Hey, sir, were you recording me?" And she was like, "No, no." I was like, "My wife, like, literally just seen you recording us. Like, what was that about?" And he's like, "Oh, well, those dogs aren't allowed here." And I was like, "Oh." And I was like, "What makes you say that?" They was like, "Oh, it's in the rules, like blah blah blah. Like you have to. He's like, "I work here." And I was like, "Okay, that's fine." And he was like, "I'm gonna call maintenance and stuff, or I'm gonna call the office and tell them, like, you know, you can't have a dog here. Like you have pit bulls here. Like they're not allowed here." And I go, "Oh, okay." And then I go, "My dogs are service animals too, because we got them as service animals, both of them." And I said, I'm pretty sure that service animals, they can be wherever they want. Like, there's you can't like just discriminate against them if you got everything legally and stuff like that. And he's like, oh, and I'm like, all right, well, I just feel uncomfortable. Like my wife feels uncomfortable now because like you just recorded us. Like, how do you like want me to feel as a person? Like my wife feels uncomfortable. Like I play baseball, obviously, blah blah blah. And the next day, like I get a call from like the front off the building. They're like, oh yeah, like uh, you can't have your dogs in here. But I clearly like when we moved in, we wrote that we had service animals, and they're like, okay, no problem. Like, you know what I mean? Like everything was good, and pit bulls, everything. Like we had all the documentation, and they're like, all right, well, and I even offered, I was like, oh, you guys want us to pay a fee for having service animals here? No, like everything, like, no, you're fine. And I got a hold of my agent and my lawyer and stuff and was like, yeah, these people were trying to, because they were like, we're going to evict you, give you 30 days notice to evict you because you're dogs.
Dude,
Yeah, I said, all right.
what?
Yeah. I said, okay, we won't be here in 30 days, but okay, you can do that. But we start doing like legal stuff and like send them like all the stuff, all the encounters that we had with them about our dogs and stuff like that. And it was just like I didn't want to do stuff like that, but I'm just like, you guys literally said that this was okay. I have service like animals, like they're pit bulls, you're okay with it. And then it's like, why it's a change of a different tone? Like it's like, but we had everything legally, so they couldn't do anything. And then, at the end, they were sorry, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, like blah blah blah." Like this person doesn't know, and it's like, bro, like you guys didn't have to do all that. Like you didn't have to do all that. Like it's just stereotypical stuff. Like,
Dude,
and
damn, sorry you had to go through
no,
that.
it
That
was,
sounds like a
okay though,
pain in
because
the ass and like it.
I was like, I was ready for like my wife, like I was ready for anything. So I was like, all right, it's whatever. But we had the paperwork and all the, like I said, everything that we talked to him about, and it was like they couldn't do anything about it. And it was just like they just didn't know like what they were doing and stuff like that. And I was like, I knew more than you, so that's fine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like
But
you
it
got a
was,
law background, but you
yeah,
like you're informed, you know. And yeah, and again, sorry you had to go through with that because that's annoying as hell. And it kind of just like proves a point where like you can see another dog owner and but like you don't know if they have the right intentions out or the good intentions, you know, like
mhm.
you just literally never know. And I agree with you 100%. Always have your dog on the leash. And if you don't, obviously there's going to be times where you don't, like if they're in the like playground or whatever you want to call it, but like, or dog run. But it's just like, you can never trust anybody. And with having pit bulls, it's like, no matter what, no matter what, it's always their fault. And I'm just
All
like, dude, your dog was barking first. Piper was not doing anything, and I'm the one that's saying sorry, and like all
yeah,
this other stuff. Because like they are trained, they are well trained, they're sweethearts, they're great dogs. But yeah, it's just because they're a pit bull. And like I used to want to get a French bulldog.
yeah.
And no disrespect to anybody who has a French bulldog. I know a lot of people in the big leagues and probably listening to this has a French bulldog. But just like walking around, seeing how much they just bark and just won't shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
I'm,
he's
I'm just like,
like,
I'm like, dude, yeah, yeah. Like, but again, it kind of goes to the, all right, you have that cute little dog. They didn't do anything wrong. And we have the pit bull. So it's like, let us be the
mhm.
bigger men, I guess, in this
I'm always,
situation.
always apologizing to people. My dog ain't even doing nothing. I'm always just apologizing, like, oh, I'm sorry, like, yo, man, like he's walking. Oh, I'm sorry, he's in your way. Like, I'm always apologizing, and I shouldn't have to feel like that, but it's just out of respect, and I know the people I'm dealing with, or looking at my dog, and it's like, oh, okay. I was like, all right, well, it's no big deal. I'll for you to make you feel comfortable. I'll do what I have to do, to make you.
Well, at least at the end of the day, we know that when we look in the mirror, we can tell that we're good people. We know it, rather than other. Yeah, God, we can talk all day about this. All right, so everybody listening to this and watching this, yeah, we're talking about the babies and the dogs. But Amir Garrett, dude's an absolute stud on the baseball field, and I had talked before about how you're one of 10, um, and if I could easily fit in there at the family party. But dude, your childhood, 1 of 10, man, that's pretty cool. You had a lot of siblings to hang out with, and a California guy, but you're raised in Vegas.
Yeah. Man, yeah, I have a lot of siblings, man. I got a lot of people to account for, but I think that's helped shape me into the man I am today. I'm a loving family guy. Um, you know, I learned how to take care of kids since I was a little kid, like since I was like, I'm talking about since I was like 5, 6 years old, you know what I mean? My little brothers and stuff like that. And it's a great feeling, man. I love every single one of my brothers and sisters, man, with all my heart. I would do anything for them, but it's a big family. It's a really big family, and that speaks to the volumes of my family. Like even my grandmother's family or my grandfather's family. Like I just come from a big family. Like my dad is like one of six, I believe. So we're we're big. We're a big family.
Wow. All right. So I know I was kidding around before about having 9 to 10 people over at the crib for a barbecue, but there's potential that you could be eventually grilling for probably around 50 or 100 at that rate, just how everybody branches off. But like you mentioned, your grandfather, dude served in the military.
Yep.
He worked over at a minor league baseball field, and he had just such a crazy impact and inspiration on your life because he taught you how to play baseball. And you did play basketball and baseball, but like he was just so, again, inspirational in you choosing to pick up baseball.
Yeah, my grandfather had a very big influence on my life, especially with baseball. He used to work at the stadium out there in High Desert Mavericks in Hesperia. He used to be it, and I never really knew what he was at first, and I was like, oh, like it never dawned on me until I got older. I was like, my grandfather was like a clubhouse manager, like you know what I mean, and it was like that was sick. I used to go to the field and stuff, and just run around there. We go to games all the time, but yeah, he definitely sparked that love for baseball for me. Like I was out of all my brothers, I'm the best one at every sport. I mean, I'm saying that. I have a little
Even if
brother.
you weren't, you are, you know?
Yeah, like I have a little brother that he's really good. He plays basketball and baseball, but he's kind of like me. He just got up there. Like he plays baseball too. Like he's throwing 87 right now, and he's just like literally his basketball season was just over. And I was like, you got to like work into like, you know what I mean, like pitching. He's like, oh, I'm good, 87. Like that's unheard of to do stuff like that. But yeah, my grandfather, he put all his marbles in me like when I was a little kid. I had my older brother, my younger brother, like they wanted to play, but they just didn't have, that drive like I had. Like I was literally out there trying to play every single day, like baseball or anything I can possibly play, football. Like I was out there every single day. And it was like my grandfather knew that, like, I'd play when I'm like 6 years old, play up with my brother and he's 9. And it's like I was out there just balling on these dudes. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like it's funny because I was talking to my brother the other day. He's like, "Yeah, I held the record in Little League. I had 15 home runs, and he was 12 at the time. He's 3 years older than me." And I was like, "Yeah, well, I had 9 home runs, and I was 9 years old. Like, what do you mean? And I end up like shattering his record, the next year, like when I was 10 years old. And I'm like, bro, like I was 9 years old. I had 9 home runs, like, and you were 12, and you had 15, like, and you're way bigger than me. Like, you know what I mean? It was just funny stuff like that. And it's just like, man, it's just, I don't know. Those were the glory days. When baseball was just fun. Had no worries. You just play the game for the love of the game, man. Definitely have to, you know, I always think about my grandfather every time I'm out there on a baseball field.
When you think about it, right? So it's like you have these siblings, you have your grandfather who taught you to play baseball, and like you're out there playing nonstop, playing basketball, and not really watching too many sports. So like you were literally just loving playing the game, like not really watching it all too crazy. So like the love and the passion was just so raw for it. You're not doing it for any other reason except for the love of both these sports.
Yeah, that was definitely a tough one for me because, when I got a little bit older, like it was just like it's just a crazy journey for me because like you said, I played a lot of sports when I was young, but I never like basketball is the only sport that I never like took like big interest into when I was young. You know what I mean? And it was like until I got to 8th grade, and my friend was like, "You want to play basketball?" I'm like, "Yeah, I play basketball." I didn't know anything about basketball, right? And my dad was a basketball player. My dad was a baseball, football player, but he was really good at basketball. And so my dad's like, "Oh yeah, like, oh, that's awesome, son. Like, you really gonna play basketball?" I was like, "Yeah, you know what I mean?" Because my dad wanted me to play baseball throughout my whole. If it was up to him, I'd have been playing baseball from, you know, I never even would have picked up a basketball. You know what I mean? My dad always knew that I was gonna be a baseball player. Like he always knew. He'd tell me all the time, he's like, your hands are too little, you can't palm the ball, son. You're gonna be a baseball player. Like that's every time. You know what I mean? But I would still go and score 30 points, whatever. And he still wouldn't think. He's like, you're gonna you're gonna play baseball at the end. You're gonna play baseball, trust me. Whatever. But yeah, like you said, like I was just playing for the love of the game. And I still, when you're playing professional, it's hard for you to you know, because you have a lot of things just surrounding you and clouding your mind. And I think that's when you have to go back and look at this game like just for the love of it and just playing it, and just enjoying it. You know what I mean? And we often lose that as professionals sometimes. Just the love of the game. Coming to the ballpark and just being around the guys and getting out there and just playing the game like for fun. Even right now with uncertain times, I'm out there, 2-3 times a week. It's high school up here. It's called the Meadows. And I just go out there. I tell my wife, I said, I have practice today. She's like, you're going to watch a practice or you have practice? I was like, no, I got practice. I'm out there with the guys and stuff like that. Like these kids are in high school and it's just like, I just like that. I rekindled that fire. It was like, I just love baseball, and you never know how much you love something until it's gone. Right. That's just how it is. And like I get out on that field and I'm just with high school kids, just being a dude, just chilling, talking mess, hanging out. And it's like, man, I love this game, bro. Like I really love this game. I wouldn't be playing this game if I didn't love it as much as I do. You know what I mean?
Yo, so listening to what you're saying, like everything's just going through my head, and I'm like, all right, I'm just picturing you play. I'm thinking about how you went to St. John's because you want to go to New York City. Like, just your approach is just so unique and so different. Because I think, like you said, people get caught up so easily in it, and also too, when you're in high school, it's like, all right, where am I going to go to college? Who do I want to play for? Like just they just get too, I want to say serious, maybe serious. I don't know. That might not be the right word, but like too like intense with it, where it's just like, dude, just have fun. And I
Yeah.
know I had posted on Instagram the other day that the reaction, I don't know why I was filming. It's probably because I was like, I'm so used to filming the dog and the baby that I just always have my camera out. But like I'm filming my reaction and then I'm watching and like you can tell you're having fun, but as like the highlight reel or the mixtape kept on getting like further and further along of you playing basketball, I was like, holy shit. Like it seemed like it kept on getting more crazy and crazy, but like you could just tell you were just having fun. It was so cool to see.
Yeah. Like my journey, obviously I got to play professional baseball and college basketball. Like I solely did that because I love playing both sports. And it's like I was not ready to give up either one yet. I was not ready to give up either sport yet. And I was like, I'm gonna do this as long as I can. And I was like, I'm gonna be the first one to do this and play NBA and play in the MLB. And you know what I mean? It was just like, it was so fun. It was hard, but it was really fun. You know what I mean? And if I could change my journey, or I would not. I would probably do it the same way. You know what I mean? Basketball in college, minor league baseball. I had the best of both worlds. Like, who wouldn't want to do that? You know what I mean? Play professional baseball, college basketball, Madison Square Garden. Even though I'm playing in the minor leagues in Billings, Montana, Reds complex and stuff like that, but it was just like that's what made me, man. Like, and it was just fun. And I didn't even really know anything. Like when I went to the minor leagues, like you said, I was just having fun. It was like, all right, I'm just gonna do this. Like I'm just gonna go out there and pitch. Whatever happens, happens. And it's like I was so free, like just not a care in the world, man. It was just like those are the times I'll never take back. I could, I'll cherish those moments to the day I die.
Yo, it's almost like a blessing in disguise, right? Just like you just want to like hang out, have fun, and like even basketball, like you said, you go to Madison Square Garden, play in the world's most famous arena. You didn't go to Duke, like you had so many offers from all these different schools, like literally top tier schools, but you played at Duke. You played like with the fans all behind you, like going crazy and stuff like that. You had all these insane experiences, and I sent you the picture the other day. It was recording with Kenny Lofton, who was like one of the only other people who have
Yep.
actually played both basketball and baseball, and then obviously
Mm-hmm.
professionally. But like, it's just so cool to hear how you go about certain things because I think now there's so much specialization and stuff like that. But like, your path is just so unique, and yeah, I loved how you went to St. John's because you loved New York City. You want to go to New York City. The whole draft thing too for the Major League Baseball draft, that was wild. So your dad sets up this showcase that one team was going to be at the Tampa Bay Rays, but 26 teams go to.
Yeah.
You just open some crazy eyes. Nuts. This is all while you're playing basketball.
Yeah, all while.
And guys, everybody, like, I should point this out too. Amir played basketball with and on the same teams as or against guys like Russell Westbrook, Anthony Davis, literally all-stars, big time names, not some small little travel team or whatever, like literally the best of the best NBA all-stars.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, you're showcasing your talents for Major League Baseball teams.
Yeah, hold on really quick, Stucko. I'm gonna turn off this grill and I'll come right back to you. Is that all right?
Cool. Yeah.
Woo, that thing is going, baby. That thing is going in there. Sorry about that.
Dude, yes.
So, all right. So the basketball thing we were talking about. Yeah, it's a crazy journey. Like you said, I played against a lot of top guys. You know, I played against Brad Beal. I played against Anthony Davis. You know, I played with the number 1 draft pick in 2014, Anthony Bennett. Went to UNLV, and he was coming off the bench for us at Finley. You know, I know Russell Westbrook. I used to work out with him. I think a couple of times, but he went to Lusinger, the school that I went to. DeLon Wright, me and him were co-MVPs of the Bay League. You know, all these guys, I was ranked number 2 behind Anthony Davis in the camp. You know, I went off one time averaging 30 points a game, like Brad Beal, like all these guys, like all these guys. I played with John Wall, you know, Brandon Jennings, like, you know what I mean? Like I played in Boost Mobile Elite 24, top 24 people in the country. Like, I've been that and I've done that, like against all these top guys, and I really held my own. I was really good, and such a short time frame. Like that was all within 4 years of picking up a basketball. Just 4 years of picking up a basketball. That's what I became. You know what I mean? And I was able to do that. But you know, like you said, my dad was he's always wanted me to play baseball, and I literally did it for him. Like he always said me, like, do it for your grandpa. Like it was my mom's father. It wasn't my dad's father, but he was like, do it for your grandpa. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let's see where this baseball thing takes you. Like, and like you said, I had all these scholarships to anywhere in the world, any college I wanted to go to, I had the choice to go to. And like, I never had a worry. Like I was like, all right, I'll go to wherever I want, like play, whatever, do this. And he's like, son, like pick up a baseball workout. Let's see what this does. And like, you know, just do it for me. Like, whatever. I was like, all right, Dad, whatever. Like a month goes, 2 months, like we working out and stuff like that. He's like, yeah, son, like you got to try out. I mean, you got a workout tomorrow in front of a scout, like Tampa Bay Rays scout, just one. I was like, all right, cool. So he pulled up and it was almost every MLB team there to watch me. And I'm like, damn, he's like, oh yeah, like, man, he's like, I thought it was going to be 1-2, but they made some calls and now all of them are out here. And all my teammates from Finlay came, Nick Johnson, Mike Kabongo, Anthony Bennett, Nas Long, like all these guys came. And I was throwing like 97, 98 on the gun. And it's just like, these guys are like, you sure you want to play basketball? Like, I'm like, yeah, bro, like I want to play basketball. Like, I'm just doing out here. I'm just for play right now. Like I would tell everybody, like, I'm just for play. Like, I'm just showing, like, I'm not going to play baseball. I'm just play basketball. And they're like, you put that basketball down, like, you really have a bright future in baseball. Like, give it a shot. And I'm like, bro, like, no, I'm good. Like, and even after that, I told my dad, I said, Dad, I'm not playing baseball still. Like, I don't want to play. Like, I'm good. Like, I love basketball. And, you know, draft day comes around and it's like, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, I was going to get drafted in the first 5 rounds or whatever. And, you know, they were telling me that. And I was like, all right, if I don't, I don't. If I do, who cares? Like, you know what I mean? I'm not worried about it. Like, 22nd round came, and I think the Reds were the only team, like one of the only teams that didn't come scout me. They weren't there. So they called and it's like, yeah, Amir, we drafted you. Mind you, I was sleeping. Like, man, I was out. Like, bro, they didn't draft me in the first like 2 days or whatever. Like, I'm done. Like, it's all good. Like, they made my decision for me. I'm just gonna play basketball. No sweat. Like, I'm good. They drafted me like, Amir, like we just selected you in 22nd round. Like, I'm like, oh yeah. I'm just like, okay, thank you, sir. Like, appreciate it. My dad's freaking out, like, son, like, let's go, let's do this. I'm like, Dad, I'm not playing. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, I go the next week and throw in front of them at their complex. And it's like, all right, we'll be in contact with you. I'm drafting stuff, and you got to negotiate and all that. And I'm not even tripping. Like, and I'm in Philly one time. I was in the summer, like going to the summer. I'm in Philly, and the cross tracker for the Reds is like, yeah, we need to see you pitch. Like, we need to see you pitch. Like, for us to like tie up these loose ends on the negotiations and the contract and stuff like that, we need to see you pitch. All right, cool. They set it up, and I went to go pitch in a men's league. Just like just guys were just drinking beer, come out and play. And I'm just throwing bullets. Like, I've been working out the whole month, the whole summer, just basketball. And I just come out there throwing 96, and it's like, yep, we're going to sign you. Yep. We're going to, you're a Cincinnati Red. Like, there was no doubt after that. And like, the deadline came and they signed me. And I was just like, that's my dad. I was like, what do I do now? Like, he was like, you won't play baseball, play college basketball, right? And little did I know, I didn't know what the heck I was getting into. So when I signed, as soon as I signed, I went straight to play college. I went straight to college, right? I went to play in college. And it's like, after that time, it's like, now it's time for baseball. And I'm like, I'm always calling my dad, like, Dad, what did we get ourselves into, man? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how am I going to focus on one sport? Like, how am I going to go to the league? Like, if I'm still playing baseball, like, how am I going to go? You know what I'm saying? If I'm still playing basketball, like, when I tell you, it was the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life was balance school, basketball, baseball, minor league travel. It was by far the hardest thing. I would be in the game. Like, if I'm not pitching today, I'd be like, hey, coach, man, like, I got an assignment I got to do, like, turn it in 30 minutes. Like, do you mind, like, because I was a starter, I was like, do you mind if I stay in the clubhouse and get this assignment done? Like, this shit is tough, like, for me. He's like, oh yeah, like, no problem. Like, do whatever you got to do, Amir. And I'm just like, shit, like, you know what I mean? I'm over here texting, writing my professors, like, hey, like, I'm in the game, like, I'm pitching tonight. Like, I'll send it, like, right after I'm done. But like, the journey that all that took place, like, I was never a good student ever. I was a good athlete. I was never a good student. So I just got to play basketball, and I was good at basketball. So I happened to be able to, play because I was really good. So when I got to college, it was like, dang, like, I learned how to be a student. Like, I started learning things, and like, I made dean's list my freshman year in college. You know what I mean? I'm like, wow. I was like, what the heck, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? I was over here clapping for joy if I even get a C minus in class.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Next thing you know, you're on dean's list.
Yeah, bro. I was like, dang, that stuff is sick to me. Like, if anything, like, the education and the way the person I am today, like, that whole journey, you look back on it, was like, yeah, it was hard, but there's a lot of things that I took away from that, and it's not even like a great career, like a good career up until now. I'm in the big leagues, obviously, but like the education aspect of it, and being able to learn and pick up a book and read it on my own, like, that's the stuff that I really cherish, man. Like, because I really didn't really care about that stuff when I was in high school, but I learned to care about it, and educating myself about just a lot of various things in the world. Like, like, when they say, like, taxes and stuff like that. Like, when I was in high school, like, I didn't know that. Like, so when I got my first check, I'm like, why they take all this money? He's like, taxes, son. Like, I'm like, they didn't teach me that in school, bro. Like, what? Like, no, I want my money back. You know what I mean? Like, what is this? Like, I was like, so they're stealing it from me? Like, no, I was like, no, son. Like, he set me down and taught me, like, it was like, and to write a check, bro. I didn't know how to write a check until I was like 21 years old.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
Well, how about this? Even negotiation, right? Like, you ended up signing for $1 million, but you easily could have signed for 400,000, which was the first offer. Like, dude, you learned about negotiation from the get go too, man.
I did, and that's a testament to how much my dad believed in me, because, like, it was like 400,000. Like, yep, let's take it, let's go, we're out of here. Like, Dad, we're rich, like, we're good, like, I'm gonna be able to take care of everybody with this. He's like, no, son. It was like 600,000, 900,000. I was like, let's go, Dad. Like, take it, man. They're not gonna give this to me no more. He's like, we're gonna get you to a million. Cool. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh man, like, but my dad believed me. He was like, no, we're gonna get what you're worth, son. Like, we're gonna get everything you're worth. And I was like, sheesh, like, I owe a lot to my dad. I was like, Dad, like, man, like, that shit was crazy. Like, that experience, man. Just going through stuff like that, like, I don't know. I never thought like I would be here in the position I am today. That's for sure.
Dude, you're a great storyteller. I feel like I've been smiling this entire time. I promise you, my screen isn't frozen. This is awesome, man. And like knowing your story and just hearing it from you, and just like it makes me so happy for you, and just so cool to see everything pay off. Because once you did put the basketball down in 2014, you ended up becoming the minor league pitcher of the year for the Reds in 2015. Then you had a 6 inning scoreless debut in your major league debut in 2017 for the Cincinnati Reds. Like, dude, congratulations. We should, we should have had this entire episode sponsored by White Claw, because I feel like so many times you just could have been doing the cheers tap to the screen, man. But seriously, man, that's so awesome. That's crazy. So 3 years after you put the basketball down, next thing you know, you're pitching in the big leagues.
Yeah, man. It was just like they would always tell me, like, Amir, the faster you put down the basketball, like the quicker you'll get to the big leagues. Because I was really raw, like, and I was just an athlete. Like that's what helped me, get through all this. Like I didn't know like baseball. Like you couldn't even give me a term that I would know. Like I just played the game. Like and like just I was like, nah, bro, I'm just go out there and throw the ball, like, and compete. You know what I mean? I'm like, here's my best stuff. Hit it. If you can't, you can't. Like we're just gonna go and compete, and I'm gonna do what I do, and you do what you do. And that's just what my mindset was for the longest. Like go out there and get it done, and just have fun and compete. That's it.
Dude, perfect segue. Mindset. Like I love your mindset, and you've said this before. No matter what, it's your Amir. No, anywhere and everywhere, everybody gets the same Amir.
Yeah.
Like there's no holding back. Like that is you, except for when you're on the mound. That's when you turn into AG. Yeah. But like, I think that more people should definitely be like that. I'm definitely the same. Like if you listen to this or watch this, if you call me 5 minutes from now, it's gonna be the same exact thing. If I see you at the grocery store, it's gonna be the same exact thing. If you see me on TV, or if you see you pitching on TV, it's literally gonna be the same exact person. And like, I love what you're doing, right? Because you being outspoken helps so many other people around you be more comfortable with what they're doing. Your mindset, dude, I love it.
Mm-hmm. And it's crazy because it's like a lot of people get shunned for them just wanting to be themselves. Like I tell everybody all the time, like I go around, like I said, I go around to the high school with kids, and like they're like, oh, Mr. Garrett, like I'm like, bro, like I'm Amir, like I'm just chilling, like I'm cool, like we just vibing, like we just cool, like you know what I mean? Or people will put me on a pedestal. I'm like, bro, like that ain't me, dog. Like I am what I am, like you know what I mean? And it's like I go and hang out with the kids, and it's like I treat them like my brothers or my sister. It's like, hey man, like guy doing something, hey, sit your ass down. And they're like,
yeah.
I'm like, hey man, I'm moving like that, but like you know what I'm saying? Like I'm on this field, like you like my little brother. Like, do you mind if I treat you as such, or like, you know what I mean? Like everybody thinks that you have to be like this. Everybody thinks like, what is being a professional? I ask a lot of people, like, what is being a professional like in your eyes? I ask a lot of people, what is being a professional? Like being a robot, not being yourself? Is that being a professional? Obviously you have the guys you look that you want to be like, and you like how they go about their business, like Tom Brady, LeBron James, like, you know what I mean? Like, or guys like Mike Trout, you know what I mean? He doesn't say too much, but that's just, they're like, oh, he's professional, or Tom Brady, they're professional. It's like, yeah, I'm professional too, but I just like being me, professional, like, and I just like I treat everybody with the same respect. Like I'm really not anybody for real. I'm just a professional athlete. I came from nothing. So like when I was younger, it's crazy. Like I would look at guys, like I wouldn't really care. Like when I was a kid, like if I seen like Derek Jeter, Alex Rodriguez, or like, Albert Pujols or whatever, like if I didn't look up to like these people. Like I like, I just didn't. Like I was like, oh, okay, like cool. Like I was never like, I don't know how to say it. I was never like, oh, like that's, you know, Albert Pujols, like, I was like never like, oh, like that's crazy. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, if I was there, if I was a kid trying to get an autograph, if they gave me one, cool. If they didn't, like, who cares? Like, I used to look at them like, oh, bro, like they're just like us. They're just like me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's how I went about life ever since I was a little kid. And it was like, I don't care. Like, I don't. Cool. I meet him. I meet him. If I don't, I don't. You know what I mean? And I think that's just how I am now. Like, I'm a professional athlete. Cool. Like,
Yeah, and like you don't need to be a robot. And like you said, like if you're like, what does it really mean to be professional? Like you don't have to be a robot. And it goes for any career or industry that you're in. Like I don't think that at an office, I don't think like you shouldn't be able to go talk to the president of the company because it's the president, or you have to go in and like knock the door lightly and say, hello, Mr. Hello, Mrs. Like, dude, just like fucking be you. It's not hard at all. And something that I'm sure that you've probably experienced too. But you said I'm not an anybody, like at the end of the day, we're all human. So if people look at me like I'm crazy, I'm sure you probably experienced this too. But like if you go to grab a cup of coffee and you ask the cashier how their day is doing, rather than looking at them and giving your card without saying a single word. But like if you say hello and like ask them how their day is going, like you kind of catch them off guard a little bit because they're just so used to like people just like treating them like they're just like a robot behind the counter. So I think that's super important. Just treat everybody the same. And like even before say 20 years of like working in sports media and like doing what I'm doing right now and being on television, having these awards and stuff like that, dude, I was cutting cold cuts and making sandwiches at a deli. Like I was trying to grind, like, and then at night I'd go to all the minor league games and just try to build relationships and create fun stuff. But like, dude, I swear to God, man, I was going 110% on every single sandwich that I made, every single cold cut that I cut, the same exact way that I'm doing like what we're doing right now.
yeah,
Like I don't think anybody should change based on situation or circumstance. Or like you said, if Mike Trout is in the room, you shouldn't act anything differently. If Mike Trout walks by, all right, he walks by. If he says hello to you, you have a conversation like anything else, or you go say what's up to him. Like it doesn't matter. Like dude, we're all just people. We're all just the same, and like take that approach, dude.
it is. And
I'm
I think
fired up, man.
I
But
think
like I'm being dead serious, dude. Like
oh,
it's
I think
and
that's
seeing
important.
it too. Like yeah, like I'm sorry, I'm going off on a rant, but like where were these text messages from these people when like you're cutting cold cuts at a deli or like where you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I'd literally go from the deli and then the next day, or I'd close at like the gym the next day, like working at the front desk. Like I was literally doing anything and everything that I possibly could to like live this dream and still to this day just try to get better. But yeah, dude, just like doesn't matter who it is, just treat everybody nicely and how you want to be treated.
yeah. And I think a lot of people will say that about me. Like, just workers at the stadium at I'm real close with the grounds crew in Cincinnati. Like, I'm always over there. We're always playing basketball. Like, before I go out there and play catch and stuff like that, I'll be out there playing basketball, playing around the horn and stuff like that. Like, just getting to know people. Like, well, I'm just like, I like doing this stuff. You know what I mean? Like going, and talking to the workers before the games, or before I'm walking to the bullpen. Like, that's what I enjoy doing. I like putting a smile on people's faces. And, like you said, everybody gets the same Amir. Everybody gets the same Amir. And my wife could be attest to that. She's right here. Everybody gets it. I talk mess to anybody. I'm over here being cool with anybody. Like, everybody gets the same Amir. Like, every single person.
Dude, yes. Let's go. I'm fired up, man. You're firing me up right here.
Me too.
The AG on the mound too, right? This is the perfect example of describing you, in my opinion, when it comes to Amir Garrett off the mound and AG on the mound, right? So there is what was it when you were with Kyle Schwarber? You guys were in what was it like Cincinnati, I think,
The
when you
future.
guys for the Futures game.
Yeah, in 2015. Yeah, that was my first one. I made it twice. My bad.
Dude, boss, let's go. Let's go, baby. Yeah. So here you are with Schwarber, right? Off the field. You guys literally spend the day together, like
Yeah.
walking around, crossing a bridge at a restaurant.
Mhm.
I forget what year it was. It might have been this past year. But then you guys are playing each other. And I love everything about what you bring to the table on the baseball field. But like, he was definitely, he was definitely yelling at you and you had
Yeah.
so much fun with it. But it's just like you weren't confrontational at all. Like you were just hyped up because you got the strikeout. And I don't know Kyle, I've never met him before, and I'm sure he's a good dude. But that just kind of goes to show that individuals could be completely different off the field and on the field.
Mhm.
And not saying that like you did anything that's just like bad, but like Schwarber looked like he was pretty pissed off. But what I'm trying to say is that you're just having fun.
Mhm.
It was against somebody who you were literally you spent time with.
Yeah, you know, my biggest thing is like competing. Like I tell a lot of people, I come from a world a complete different, like basketball. Basketball is like a good example. Like, I mean, obviously, this is the world I came from. Like, I can be there in like Russell Westbrook, for example, or you know, if you play him one on one, say you're a high school kid and he's in the NBA, he's going to talk shit to you while he's playing you one on one. That's just what he's going to do, and that's just the way he is. You know what I mean? I once played, you know, like I said, we was in practice in the Elite Boost Mobile Elite 24 when I was 17 in high school, and I was playing against DeMar DeRozan, Brandon Jennings, John Wall, you know, open run, and these guys were talking shit to me. Like, I'm like, damn, bro, like I'm 17 years old, but like, I'm like, okay, all right. And then I would talk shit back to them, but like that's what molded me to the player that I am, like just in general. When I'm on the mound, I'm competitive. Like, and it's like I'll talk shit, and I'll talk shit a lot. And you know, that's just me competing at my best. Like that's what I like to do. And like baseball is such a like just you know, it's a different sport because it's like, oh, that's shunned. Like you shouldn't do that. And that's where they say act professional. It's like, bro, like that fun. If I'm gonna talk some shit, like who cares? I can do it. A lot of guys like Marshawn Lynch said to me, like Marshawn Lynch said, he said, you gonna get got sometimes, but I'm gonna get more people than I get got though. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes you just gotta work. You gotta take it to the chin and say, all right, cool. Like people, I was just talking shit. The at that before you hit a home run. Oh, Amir, you shouldn't talk shit. Well, I'm still going to talk shit. Like that's fine. Like you're gonna get me something, I'm gonna get you. I don't care about that. I have no problems with it. Like in my career, it's just like people try to make fun of me. You know, I had a bad year last year. They try to make fun of me. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, whoop de doo. Like these things happen. I'm gonna bounce back from that. 100%. I'm gonna bounce back from that. But the thing with Schwarber, it's like, you know, I was struggling for a little bit, like a week or something like that, and I got a strikeout. And I'm like, yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? And people are like, oh man, act like you've done it before. I was like, yeah, well, my saying is like, act like you've done it before, act like this is the last time I'm doing it. So I'm gonna leave the impression on you so you know that, hey, I beat you right here. You know, and it's crazy because people act a certain way towards me. And like I'm just like, all right, cool. Like, fuck it, like whatever. You know what I mean? And that was actually a really funny encounter, man, because
Yeah.
Schwarber's a good guy and stuff, and I struck him out, and you know he's mad. And then the crazy thing is, his manager subbed him out the game, so it made him look even worse. Like,
Yeah.
the
So
game.
he's screaming to you to go back to
Yeah,
the dugout.
I went back to the dugout, and then Madden he takes him out the game, and I'm like, oh no, like damn, that like he just made him look that much more worse, and I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just hilarious, man. It's just competing, man. I like competing more than anything. Like I love to compete. Like I will compete until the day I die with anything that I do, and I want to win every single time. And I don't care who you are, how old you are. I'm going to compete, and I'm going to try to beat you every single time.
Yeah, yo, and you bring up such a great point too, because you said something about how like the year you didn't have your best year, you know, like you could have that high ERA, but because of all this stuff that you bring to the table, like dude, you're an entertainer. Like people will pay to go see Amir Garrett pitch. They're not gonna pay to go see some robot out there just like on the mound or at the plate. The celebrations that you have, the sweeping, the strutting, like dude, all that man, that makes people know who you are. And even the year that you had gotten snubbed from the All-Star game, you're like, all right, well, if people don't know my name now, eventually they will, you know, because like, you know that your hard work, that you got that confident factor too. We need more of you. I feel like a lot of guys who I know in baseball who I have good relationships with and who I've recorded with and who people have heard on the show before, it's just like, if the entire league could be all you guys, like that would be amazing. That's in a perfect world.
Yeah, I mean, it would be, man. I embrace like the new generation of the game now, like how it's going. I really embrace every single thing. You got Acuna, you got Stroman, like Tim Anderson, like these guys are, you know, must see TV. Like they really are. And I tell a lot of people, you can do whatever you want. You can showboat, you can not showboat, whatever you want to do. Like, you play the game how you want to play it. Don't let somebody else tell you how to play the game. I felt like another learning curve for me. Like, people would try to tell me how I should and how I shouldn't play the game and like close me off a little bit. And it's like, you know what? I'm not having fun. Like, I'm gonna do how you want me to play the game. And I want to play the game how I want to play. And I was like, you know what? That's not even the right thing to do. You know what I mean? I want to play the game how I want to play the game. You know, like I said, it was one of the worst years of my career. And it's like, I was trying to be something for somebody else to make them happy. And I was like, no, like never again. Like, never again will I ever do that in my life, you know, just to make somebody else happy.
And how about this? Hey, you can't throw a slider. You don't have a good slider. Next thing you know, you're like, actually, I do, and
Yep.
it turns out to be your best pitch. And it's just like, dude, like you can't listen to other people. Like no matter what, you have to be you. And guys, like this entire time, like you could just tell that Amir's a good dude. Yeah, so you may see some of these highlights, you may see some of these clips of intense things going on the field, but at the end of the day, you are a good dude, man. And I wouldn't want to associate with you if you were otherwise. And this is how you gain fans. Like you have gained so many fans just by doing stuff like this. And the fact that you had gotten drafted and played for the Reds. Dontrelle Willis was one of your favorite players growing up.
Yeah.
The spring training complex was what, 10 minutes from where your grandpa had
Yeah.
lived. It's just like you are like living a dream and you're making the most of it and having as much fun with it as possible, which in my opinion, it's the best route that you could take mentality wise and just career wise. Have fun and be yourself. Don't try to be what somebody's trying to make you to be. Just be you.
And that's just a testament. It's like, I'm not supposed to be in the position I am today. Like, especially playing baseball, like I'm not supposed to be here. Like, I'm really not. Like, I picked up the ball, was like, cool, let's do it. Like, I was really good. And it was like, I got here just hard work, dedication, just being happy, you know, out there when I'm playing baseball. Like, it's crazy because my journey, well, I'm in the big leagues right now, going on my, you know, 5th year, right? There's been guys that played this sport all our lives, going to all these all-American camps and these workouts, doing all this. And like, I'm just here just because, you know, I love to play the game and I was just good at it. You know what I mean? I shouldn't be here. Like, these guys go through all this stuff, you know, this grinding, and like, I'll just pick up a ball and just decide I want to throw 98 today. Like, you know, that's just how I was, like, always. You know what I mean? And I tell kids, that's my biggest story. I tell kids all the time, I'm like, you might not be where you want to be at right now. You might not throw hard, whatever. You might be smaller than everybody, whatever. I was like, but eventually you're going to get good. If you work hard, you're going to get good. You're going to be able to go out there and compete the way you want. You know what I mean? And that's just how I was. I was a late bloomer. I'm still blossoming right now. Like, I just go out there, and it's the funny thing is, because I try to go out there and have a plan, do what I want. Never worked. Yeah, I was like, why would I do that? Like, I'm just gonna go out there and just have fun and throw the ball. That's what I've been doing when I was at my best, like just throwing the ball. Like, all right, I'm gonna get this guy out. I don't care about what you do good, what you're great at. I'm just gonna do what I'm great at. Like, and that's just getting you out and throwing the slider right by you or whatever. You know what I mean? But some people work different, and people look at me crazy because when they ask you, like, what's your approach? I have no approach. Just like, you know, that's it. They're like, really? I'm like, brother, like, that's just how I compete. Like, you know what I mean? Like, one of my teammates told me the best thing. Wade Miley told me. He said, you know, I always give you shit. He's like, but you are nasty. He was like, you are nasty, bro. Like, nasty. And he was like, you know, it makes you so good. And he was like, don't take this as the wrong way. And I was like, what? He was like, it's just like, because you have no clue about pitching. You just go out there and pitch. He's like, that's what makes you so good. I showed him one day, like, how I throw my fastball, my slider. And he's like, you throw a slider like that? And there's people in the minor leagues before I came up, they're like, your slider is not going to work in the big leagues. I swear to you, not. Your slider's not going to work in the big leagues, right? And here I am today, have one of the best big league sliders in the game. And he's like, that's just what makes you good. He was like, because you just go out there, you just grab the ball and you just play. He was like, I want you to be that, Amir. I just want you to do that and just do that. He was like, I don't want you to think about anything else anymore. Just do what you do you. Like, that's it. You know, and I was like, that's pretty awesome. You know, and that's when I started finding my way a little bit more at the end of the season and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm just gonna take that and I'm gonna build off that and just do and be me and be who I want to be and not what anybody else wants me to be.
Dude, let's go. Yo, you know who you kind of remind me of in when it comes to just like your kind of your presence out there on the mound and just like just like a cool down to earth dude is CC Sabathia. And
See,
I know you yeah. And he sent you a signed ball.
yeah,
That's so cool. And like he's out of the game now, obviously, but I could see you kind of carrying along that same type of fire and that I guess that kind of just like flair that he had on and off the field.
CC is a definitely, he's like a mentor to me. I talk to him a lot. Like that's a good dude right there, man. He's a really good dude. He's from California, Vallejo. Like that was one of the guys I used to watch when I was a young kid as well. And then like he signed the ball to me. Like we shared the same field in what 2000 and say 17, right? Yeah, it was 2017. We shared the same field, and I'm like, wow, like this is sick, dog. Like, and I asked to sign a ball, and he signed it, and I was like, wow, that's sick, bro. Like if you didn't have to, if you didn't want to sign it, you didn't want to sign it, but he signed it and sent it over to me, and I'm like, man, that's dope. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm always gonna remember that. And then we start chatting it up in 2020, and I'm like, hey, bro. And I sent him a jersey. He was like, I need that. And he was like, I need you to put I'm like that on that jersey too. And, I sent the jersey over to him. He's like, bro, like, thank you. And I'm like, man, it's my pleasure. Like it's my pleasure to send you a jersey. You know what I mean? And yeah, he's a good dude. He's a really good dude.
Dude, yes, sir. So you got that signed ball, and specifically like on like social media stuff like that, like on Instagram. I was listening to an interview. It might have been with Jim Day. I didn't know much about Jim Day, and then I'm watching all these interviews and like listening to them and stuff like that. I'm like, this dude's actually pretty funny. Like, I feel like he really embraces
Rock
who
star,
he is.
bro. He's a rock
Yeah,
star. He's a rock star.
yeah. Like he embraces who he is. So seeing the chemistry with you guys it has been pretty funny. But one of the funny videos online. So there's two things with that. One of the funny videos was the one where you guys were in the dugout and somebody was like throwing sunflower seeds
Oh yeah,
at you
yeah,
during it, and like, dude, you caught a few.
yeah. I did. It was pretty sick. It was 2 years ago. Yeah, Jim Day is. I was like, oh, Jim Day is a good dude, man. He's a really good dude. I really enjoy being around Jim Day. That's for sure. He's funny.
So he didn't catch any sunflower seeds, but you managed to, and it was just kind of funny how the audio picked up like the crunches. Like, dude, it could have been like a David sunflower seeds commercial.
He's trying to give me an endorsement right now. Yes.
Yo, let's go. We're sending it over to them.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
And then in one of the other interviews that you had with him, you were talking about potentially starting a YouTube channel and like showing off some like outfits and stuff like that on Instagram. Dude, I'm checking out the Instagram feed, man. I'm wondering where some of them are. When are we going to see some of the cool outfits, whether like walking into the stadium or at home?
I mean, we gotta get that fixed, like in the stadium. Like I had a couple on my Instagram, like on my story or something, like walking, but this isn't like the NBA. Like how they catch you walking into the field with some fits, but like me being who I am, I like being me. Like it's hard for me to be like, hey man, can you take this picture of me walking in here? Because people are gonna think, first of all, I'm like, whoa, what a like he's very into himself, which I am. But it's like my teammates like it's like, bro, like why am I taking this picture of you? I'm like, bro, I want to show off the drip, like you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but it's hard for me to get pictures like at home. I'm gonna have my wife have to take some. I tried to take some the other day. Me and my daughter had a fire fit on together, and I was trying to take a picture, and I was like, it's just not gonna work. It's just not gonna work. You know what I mean? Like she was all in the way, and I was like, man, like I was like, babe, you're in the way of my fit. Like, come on, like straighten up. I was like, straighten up. Let's go. Like, let's swag out together. But every time I try to get a picture of my fit, man, it never seems to work. But I do like, man, who does it well is Tim Anderson and Stroman. They do it. I'm gonna have to ask them for some pointers because I'm about to start putting my drip fits up on the gram though, for sure.
Oh, dude, big time. And if when we're at the ballpark together, I'll make sure to you stay dressed. You just come out onto the field and whatever you got, and I'll
Oh,
take
for
the flip for
sure.
you.
I'll come out there. I'll go in there. We can set it up. I'll go in after I play catch stuff, put on my outfit real quick, and act like just look away, the no look, like you caught me off guard, like, and I'll just be like, all right, cool.
Yes, sir. Yo, and you're right, man. It is pretty tough to take a picture with the baby and take a picture with the dog. You think it's gonna be so easy. The next thing you know, like everybody's looking all different ways. You're
Yeah,
trying to get them to say stuff, and I think one of the best videos of you right now on social media is when you had proposed to your wife
yeah,
back in 2018. She
yeah,
thought that she was throwing you a surprise party, and
yeah,
then you hit her with the question, man, and it's on camera.
yeah. It's okay. I'm a smooth cat, man. You know what I mean? I'm always steps ahead of my wife. So that was pretty sick. She was sending me off with a farewell party to spring training, but I hit her with the little engagement party right there. So 2 in 1. It was awesome, man. It was one of the best days of my life for sure. And I was really nervous too. I was scared. I don't even know why I was scared. I was just like, man, like I'm really doing this. Like I'm about to ask her to be my wife. Like that's pretty sick.
And now look, a kid, a dog. You guys are living together,
living together,
married, the life.
Huh, babe? She don't even listen to me. She don't even listen to me, bro. Like that's
If she listens to the first 30 minutes of this, you're probably gonna get some pretty good brownie points.
Yeah, she's had her headphones on, like always reading a book or something.
I love it. All right, so where can everybody follow you on social media? Shoot out all your social media platforms.
Amir_Garrett on Instagram and Twitter. You know, just follow me there. You know, I'm always talking mess, you know, engaging with the fans or whatever. Hopefully Koa is not taking all the shine. She's her fits are always on my Instagram anyway, by the way. She's always drippy. So yeah, follow me there, Amir_Garrett.
Takes after daddy. My man, Amir Garrett, dude, thank you so much for hopping on Keep Swinging. We appreciate your time, brother.
Hey, I appreciate you, bro, for real. This was awesome. This was one of the better interviews I've done in a long time. I appreciate it.